Namaste. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this special series over the next 7 days, celebrating, honoring, respecting, and tapping into the frequency of Kwanzaa, which is a celebration that began in the 1960s. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the history of Kwanzaa, there is a link and more information in the description box below. But let me tell you a little bit about my journey with Kwanzaa and how this began and why I am doing this. Obviously, I am not a Black person, and this might seem a little strange that I am offering this practice. A couple of years ago, it came to my attention that Queen Osset, Oya's Girl on YouTube, as well as Veronica Rose. I don't believe her channel, if her channel is active, it is no longer a tarot channel. It has another focus, and I'm sorry, I have lost track of her. But there were a group of people that were sharing Kwanzaa spreads, and Queen Osset, as I want to say the orchestrator, the one who was inspiring several tarot tubers to come out and share these reflections, was so supportive and was without question welcoming, inviting participants from all walks of life to honor these reflections, this celebration of Kwanzaa. Welcome. Good evening to Tammy Ann and Mary Beth. I'm so glad you're here. And I have done these spreads for the past 2 years. This is my third time doing this. And what I would like to invite you to do each night that you join along with me is to choose a deck that brings to mind the theme. And the theme will always be in the description for the spread for the evening. And then I also will have the questions in the description box below, as well as the upcoming themes. If you're interested in doing this, using different decks to support the energy of the questions and so forth. So this is always something that is it's emotional. It is, these spreads are these are not light spreads. They're spreads that take you deep into contemplation. And I also suggest that you have journal pages ready for the next 7 days if you're going to share in this experience as well too. I have not changed the spreads at all. I have found in working with them, the questions are just amazing. And so I will continue to honor and to work with these as they were designed by Veronica Rose a few years ago. Okay. Welcome, Michelle Lynn. Thank you. I really enjoyed these last year. That's great. I appreciate the feedback, Tammy Ann. You will notice I have a new addition to my Kwanzaa celebration. I have a Kinar. Now, I was going to say Kinara. So I ordered this actually on Amazon. It's from Ghana, and I can't tell you what kind of wood it is carved out of, but it feels really special to have this one authentic symbol that is here on the table. I have already lit the black candle. You probably can't see it because of the fireplace behind. And each night a different color candle is lit. So we alternate red and green candles. And yeah, these are candles that I have hand rolled myself. And I just actually feel very quiet right now. It's my absolute pleasure to share these with you, but this is also a very vulnerable experience for me as well too. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about unity and what that means, perhaps in the tarot, what that means for you, what that means for you as a family, you as a single person, and the whole concept of unity. There was something that happened astrologically recently, and I was listening to a Vedic astrologer, and she was talking about, it had to do with the eclipse of Mars. It was that evening, and I decided I wasn't going to go live in the Facebook group I wanted to be outside to experience the Mars eclipse. Eclipse isn't the right word, but it's that same experience. So Mars was, the moon passed in front of Mars. And so the Vedic astrologer that I was following used the term Chandra. So Chandra is moon, Mangala, Yog. Moon, Mars union. Moon, Mars union. And every time I hear the word yoga, used outside of the intention of a physical asana practice, it really hones in what that word actually means. So yoga is such a big word, and the physical asana practice is really just a tiny little piece of what yoga means. And we practice the asana to find union in our body, mind, and spirit, among other things. But union for me, since I deepened my awareness and practices through my yoga journey, has been just part of daily life. And I am, as a healer, as a life coach, as a tarot reader, these are very powerful concepts. And we learn, and this really gets honed. I mean, you can't avoid concepts of union in the tarot, union and separation, and the lessons of oneness and what it means to step apart from that. So this is a really important concept in the tarot as well too. We see it in so many cards. Yeah, so get your deck ready, start shuffling your cards. That's right, Mary Beth, thank you for the term occultation. Yes, occultation. And I did use that term when I was sharing my blog and my posts and so forth. Mhm. Thank you for that. Tonight, I decided that I'm going to use the lovely Om Tarot. 2 years ago, I used the Numinous, which read beautifully. Last year, I used the Next Chapter Tarot for this particular spread. And I decided that the New Chapter Tarot, I decided that I was going to use the lovely Om simply because of its complete connection and understanding of what unity is. Yeah. Okay. And I decided to not have any lights on other than the Christmas lights that you see in the background. So we are all in candlelight here, and I invite you to come to breath as you're shuffling your decks. And I want to thank Audrey. Audrey is student presently in Tarot Foundations, and she just joined as a member. And she's following the Margaret Peterson series, and it's lovely to hear her comments there. So welcome, Audrey. Also, one other little note, because of the nature of this 7-day series, I have turned off advertising. And if you do see advertising, it's something that YouTube has overridden my decision to not advertise on these 7 videos. So know that it's not coming from me, okay? I'm going to go to the spread. Each night, there is a word. There is a word, and not so much the greeting, Habari Gani. This is the prompt that triggers the response of the theme word. So it's, I've heard one translation is "What's the news?" And then you respond Umoja. So I say Habari Gani, and you say Umoja. Okay. Habari Gani. The first question that we are going to draw on today, and I am going to draw all 7 cards together just to, sorry, that's for tomorrow night's spread. There we go. What are my own attitudes toward unity and community? What are my own attitudes toward unity and community? And if the table is too dark, I won't use the second camera. I'll just hold up the cards. Okay. Brilliant cut. Okay. So the spread has a single card on the top, which is the focus of the spread, and then 6 cards down below. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. The spread each night has a different shape, and I asked Veronica Rose about if there was an intention for the shapes. Did they symbolize the shape of certain African countries and so forth? And as far as I know, the answer is no to that. But here we're looking at an overall theme with 6 supporting cards below. All right, so my first card is the 5 of Wands. And I'm going to hold it up here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm also going to look at it myself. What are my own attitudes towards unity and community? And also know that this is ever evolving. Personally, as my own community is growing, as my the surroundings in my neighborhood and my family is expanding. This is a really interesting reflection for me because I am being put into a position of how can I say this? I am being introduced to different aspects of different ways that families operate. So many of you know that I have a newish partner. We've been together a year and a half or so. And I just want to say what's coming up for me here. So this is introducing another family into my life. This is my expanding community that is around me in the tarot community, my expanding community in all different, the different things that I practice and people that I gather with. And I really feel that there is a vibrant energy to this card. And I love the way that each of the swords kind of carries their own vibration and own energy. Thanks, Tamianne, for sharing your card. And if you feel comfortable sharing your draw and making any comment about the card that you've chosen in terms of this one, please feel free to speak to it in the chat. I see this as it's a confrontational card. It's not allowing people to sit back and be lazy when it comes to attitudes of, I was going to say healing, and I really feel the whole idea of and the concept of unity and healing go hand in hand. And so perhaps my role here has shifted tremendously in that I'm more of it's necessary to play the devil's advocate here because people in my circles, there are certain people in my circles, and I'm going to see when I sign off from here if I can carry this through in 2 different communities that I am involved in. Two things are coming to mind right now, but this feels very much like um, this is not the time to sit down and be quiet. I must be involved. My fiery, fiery qualities need to shine through here for a multitude of reasons. Um, it is absolutely essential that I don't settle in any way. The other thing here too tells me that the job is not done. There is a lot of work to do. There is a long road ahead in supporting and creating the peace that is required here. All right, so Michelle Lynn is using Magical Nature Tarot and has drawn the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. So these readings, I've really seen the fours in general as sacred space. And then Tamian has a portal card of sorts. So, oh, thank you for sharing this. Believing the job of community is to call each other to do better, to be better, to rise up, to rise up. Okay, to rise above. And I'm feeling that here in this, that whole idea of not settling. Okay. This is a very powerful card. Oh, you can't see. I'll just hold it up here. So this is the Queen of Cups. The ocean, the water of water. And I'll also have a really good look at the cards I have a candle here too lighting up. That's what that reflection is. So the question, the second prompt is, how can I improve my unity with family and loved ones? The Queen of Cups is one who encourages emotional healing. The Queen of Cups is one who, and there's something going on here. It's almost as if I'm feeling this spread leading towards a very active role in my family, my community, the people that I'm working with. And it's interesting because sometimes when I have been working with clients, I feel as if I'm pushing a little bit hard. Or if and I'll use the word working with a daughter, I'm not allowing maybe I can tell you what happened last night. There was a situation where my eldest daughter and my youngest daughter, who are 27 and 15, had a confrontation. And the older daughter really came across as a bully. It was completely irrational. And I had to find a way to speak to both of them in a way that they would hear, and that they would, the validation of their feelings is really important, but also the evolution of the feelings is important. So this is a powerful card. I've drawn this card in this spread other years. Yeah. Welcome to Joseph. Hello. All right. And I see an eek here. All right, so let's look at the question. How can I improve my unity with family and loved ones? So with the Ten of Swords, the whole idea of laying down, not wanting to control others, but by allowing spirit to do that work. If you think of the Ten of Swords as complete and utter surrender, it's a very powerful card in this position. Yes, yes. And so sometimes, the person who has the experience, the person who is observing from the big picture, is the one who is required to, again, not let this slip. I can't let this not slip, slide by. Absolutely couldn't let it slide by. I needed to do something about it from both perspectives. And yeah, okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the third one is, how can I improve my unity with or through social media and social networking? My thoughts on social media and social networking have really changed. And I do very little on Facebook. I put very little energy into Facebook. Once a week, I'm in the Facebook group. If members post, I do my best to support their posts by commenting and offering feedback. My Facebook page is very quiet. I share events and things like that. My personal Facebook page, I haven't posted anything for Christmas. So social media and I've become very quiet in social media. The only social media place where I am investing a lot of energy is on YouTube. And so this is a interesting question for me. Social networking has expanded in a lot of different ways. This year, I have had more international clients and clients that have invested in 6 or 8 or 10 or more sessions with me. And this has been amazing. This is a whole new avenue of my healing, of what I offer. So anyway, let's just see what's here, because this is 9 of Cups. So another cup card, another 9 of Cups. So a fulfillment, an emotional fulfillment. How can I improve with or through social media and social networking? In a way, I feel that continuing to be the more authentic I am, the more successful I am on social media. Um, with a 9 showing here, I almost feel as if what is presently being offered is enough. I don't need to be, there's not a card here of growth and expansion. And that makes me really happy, really happy. When I think of the 9 of Cups, okay, so let's think about what the planetary associations might be with that. So with 9 of Cups, these are the mutable water. So this is Pisces energy. This is the middle decan of Pisces. Okay. So this is the end of the astrological year. I am confronted with a lot of Piscean energy in my life and in my business. And this feels like quite an affirming card. So I will, I'll see if anything else comes up. But these two cards kind of support each other. Michelle and Tamian. So Ace. So it would seem that Tammy Ann, there may be an investment. There may be a new avenue, a new way that social media could support you personally or in another way, with an ace showing up there. So be open to new ideas or different directions. And I feel it's really important in this day and age when we're talking about social media that we're being selective, and there needs to be a really good reason for what we do. And perhaps this also taps into our creative aspect, giving ourselves an opportunity to share and to shine what we do best. And the Ancestor of Wands for Michelle Lynn. Taking charge of the direction that you go, not letting others. Oh, that's interesting. I was going to say not letting others bully you, but there's something about your strength and your power, and the fact that you're using a deck that connects this to ancestry. That might be a direction that feels simply, in a quite mundane quality, tapping into the energy of your family ancestry. And perhaps your social media is invested in something like ancestry.com. That would be a fun way to develop unity and connection through 2023. The next one, Amber's sad. My daughter just left. She's going to go see Avatar again. How can I improve unity in my professional life? Okay. I have another cup card. Isn't this interesting? I really opened up the other day. I shared a very vulnerable story. This was when I was doing the past life video. And as I get more comfortable, in what I'm doing, I feel that sometimes personal stories can really help people to understand what's going on. It's really a fine line between projection and the sharing of a story. And I'm very intrigued at the degree of water that is showing up so far for me here tonight. So you also take a look at the elements that are showing up. World is fire, and Michelle Lynn had fire for the previous card. Had cups for the second one. So be sure to go through and have a look at the elemental balance in your reading as well, too. There's something here for me about and I feel this is connected to emotional healing, holding space and creating the opportunities for people to perhaps to share more and to express their So know that. So please know that I do. I work with a lot of people individually, and these have been really successful sessions. Working with me one-on-one is a powerful way to dive into something, and my ability to push a little bit, to poke a little bit, has been quite transformative for some people. So Maybe this is what's going on here. All right, so my next card is another 9. It's a very powerful card. So I have 9 of water and I have 9 of fire. So a sense of fulfillment of fire. So my reading so far is all fire, all water. Divine masculine, divine feminine energy. The masculine energy is 5 and 9, and the water is Ace and 9 and Queen. And the 5th prompt is community. Okay, well, in a very small way, I began this winter season with this energy, and I feel like there's a wake up call here. Hello, everybody. This is what I do. Here I am. When I look at the volcano and the fire that is erupting from the volcano, I'm also thinking of the effects of forest fires and things like that. This is a major card of transition. You know what happens. I don't live somewhere where there's erupting volcanoes, but I do live somewhere where we live in the destruction and the rebuild of forest fires. And you could take this card if you live somewhere where there's other natural disasters. This this is so my theme tonight is both in the waking up, the bringing attention to people's choice to be less than. So both actively and receptively supporting people on their journeys. Very interesting that I've got these 2 9s. So 5 is in the community position, and 3 is in social media. Yeah, social media. Okay. Let me go back to your comments. So, as I suggested earlier, write these questions down and take some time to expand on where's the word? So, community. What aspect of community is this speaking to for you? Is this your little neighborhood? Is this the block where you live? Is this your town? Is this a particular group that you belong to? And so when we're healing this idea of coming together with others and meeting others where they are and learning to heal and to work with others together, it can be a very difficult journey. And there will be different groups, different workplaces, um, where a similar where you're going to feel a similar response. The story might be different, but I challenge you to see if you can apply each of these cards to more than one situation in your life. And that will really help to deepen understanding. Okay. Number 6, more water for me. More water. Okay. How can I improve unity in my nation? I I just received the message fish out of water. This is the Prince of Cups. By allowing myself to be vulnerable, by allowing myself to, by putting myself out there, white women celebrating Black tradition in America. I'm not even American. I'm Canadian. So there's a lot of things that are out of alignment here. I have been a fish out of water many places in my life, and these have been highly transformative. I've also been confronted. Um, I haven't been beaten, but I have been. Um, I've definitely been uncomfortably confronted in many different situations. There are, and it's really difficult. So we had a conversation this holiday about dream catchers. My daughters are all very much, they do a lot of crafting from fallen trees. We all received cedar bundles from Christmas from the last storm. There's there's a there's a reverence and always a reflection of nature. And dream catchers are a Native American First Nations concept, practice. The indigenous people, I don't know how far back the idea of dream catchers go, but we had this conversation, and one of my daughters had somebody say to her, well, you shouldn't make dream catchers unless you have sat with uh, a First Nations person and really studied and learned about their energy. And this kind of reflection, I think, is really important here. How could I improve unity in my nation? By putting myself in other people's shoes, by doing the best that I can do to experience the discomfort of others' situations, by opening my heart, by opening my heart. I'm also struck here at the emergence through the water and the open heartedness of this particular posture. And my final card, fire. So my whole reading is fire and water, is the two of fire. Okay, so all fire and water. I'm just looking at, so 2 years ago in this position, I had the Ace of Candles, and then I had the Knight of Discs, and now I have the Two of Candles. And in this final position, we are looking at race. And this is a two, and we're talking about unity. And this is a card of separation. There is definitely a wall here between us and them, between the world out there and my little microcosm. Continue to move out into the world to honor differing perspectives. And something I have learned very much about this, this is a really tricky one. Um, and it can be very difficult as well, too, as a woman when you are confronting white men who are oblivious to what unity actually means. and how they might actually find healing through um, understanding peace. But I'm intrigued here. There's a holding back. There's a holding back. There's a stepping back. This soul has not stepped forward. Something has moved, definitely from 2 years ago, which I'm also going to look at each of the cards in terms of the evolution of the energy over the past 3 years, because I think that's really something. The card that is most striking for me here is the volcano. 1, 2, 3, 4, in the fifth position. And that is the Nine of Wands. So in that position, I had the Four of Candles, which I saw very much as ritual. And then I had the Queen of Cups. So this energy. And then now this is, I think this is asking even more. One of my observations of these spreads is that they ask a lot of you. And so the best advice is, if you did this last year, to go back and look at your journal to see if there's been growth, if there's been any changes in this particular, in the energy, um, and to also look at the artwork that you have chosen and see how that speaks to you. This is a very personal spread, and it can also be very confronting. So please take your time with the spread, and if there is anything that you would like feedback on, or you would like to discuss, know that you can always come back later and put a comment in the below, or you could also private message me, and I'd be happy to send you a few thoughts, a few thoughts on that. Okay. All right, so tomorrow we will light the second candle, and I will offer up a new spread. And tomorrow's spread, well, we'll do that tomorrow when I get to that. So thank you very much for joining me here tonight, and enjoy the journaling. Take good care. Namaste.